everybody. This is the Geek Protagonist, and this would normally be like a thought on a walk kind of thing, but I haven't had time. Life changed. But, and do apologize, I got a mint in my mouth. This is today, I'm warning you now, it's going to seem political, but it's not really political where I'm like, oh, you got to do this. It's an observation that I've noticed that's just kind of strange. At least in my opinion. Right, Dawn? Yeah, she's looking over there for food. So, I noticed with everything ramping up and all the stuff going on, and my mom saw something that brought it to my attention. And no, it was my sister. Might have been my sister. But one of them came across the I think it was my sister. The naked celebrity thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, several celebrities. I know some of them were like Sarah Silverman, Chris Rock, Josh Gad, Mark Ruffalo, because I remember him saying, hey, I know you want me to put my shirt on. I have a weird thing about Mark Ruffalo. I know the guy's been through hell, but I also find him to be a little extreme. Tiffany Haddish. Just name a few. I know there was a few more. I know there was like Schleppy, which is like Sarah Silverman's dad, Sarah Silverman. And I remember at the end of the ad, she actually showed them, but then it was blurred, and it was like, what was the point? I just found it weird because these type of people are the same people who jumped on, not saying it was them, some maybe, but some of these people that are like, yeah, get naked for the ballot. Chris Pratt made a joke about doing Onward, and they're like, don't make a mockery, don't make a joke of the election. This is like the most important election of all time. Then you turn around and don't joke about the election. Now everyone here, let's get naked and tell everyone how to vote on a ballot. Like, come on, man. Oh, what? What? So my thing is, don't jump on people if you're going to turn around and show people how to get naked on a ballot. Like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. And I decided to do this video tonight just because it's the night before. And I've been just gathering because I'm so sick of this political junk. It's just so stupid and annoying to me. Like, the levels that people have taken it. And when people are sitting there like, but it's the most important election of all time. Guess what? When Obama did it before Trump got in there, it's the most important election of all time. And prior to that, it's the most important election of all time. And prior to that, my whole entire life. This is the most important election of all time. Don't you understand? No, if all of them are that important, then none of them are that important. It's important in the sense of who you put in there, whatever, but majority won, or however it went. Last 4 years has been Trump. Maybe it'll be the same. Maybe it'll be different. Depends on how many people got out there to vote. Maybe something will change. I don't care which way you vote. To me, if you don't vote, which I do know a couple people that don't, I don't really want to hear you complain about what's going on because you have no skin in the game. So by you not making a decision, you're basically saying that you're going, whatever anyone does, you're cool with it. So when I know some people do complain to me, they're like, get it? I'm like, nah, I don't really think you should, because that's something you should be voting on. And that's like usually my thing now. When they complain, if I know you don't vote, I'm like, that's my response. That's something you should be voting on. But anyway, I just found it really weird that I see this commercial. Then I see like politicians are doing it where they're getting naked. And I know one of them, and all of them kept going PA, and it was like Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh. I'm like, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And I'm like, Pennsylvania has more than that. Those two places. Beautiful, wonderful places, but they have more than where the football teams are based. And but yeah, they're like PA, and you gotta use the right color. And I'm like, you couldn't just talk, or you couldn't did no, you gotta go naked. And I seen people's reactions on like Twitter and stuff. And the funny thing is, it did feel kind of more like a we need attention versus we're trying to tell you something, because it was kind of distracting. But then I've noticed like this whole sexualization of the voting. So what? Why? Where are you taking it? You know, like what lengths are you going? And the funny thing is, a lot of the people who are doing it, they're very one sided. Just saying. and it, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm like, if you want people to go vote, and you rock, say, hey, go vote, you do it, yeah, of course. But to the level that I'm seeing it, with the whole let's get naked, like honestly, what does that have to do with politics? Seriously, what does that have to do with politics? It's like you got to take it there, and then it's weird on top of it, because it's not like they're naked. It was just weird. The whole setup was just weird, and but then I see a lot of them like, don't mock this election. It's so important. Don't mock. Don't make a joke. And I'm like, so, but you thinking bucket naked to tell people how to vote? That's not a mockery. That's not a joke. You're joking because you're taking a word associated with naked ballot. Like, look, a naked ballot. I'm naked too. Like, you didn't connect that dot. Oh, okay. And I've seen people do stuff. So there's a channel I've mentioned him before. Awesome comic book channel. Don't know the guy, nothing. It's a plug because I just think he has a great channel. There's a dude that's Comics by Perch. And I seen him post on Twitter. He actually did a video where he talked about it. But the funny thing is, I saw his Twitter post where he posted like a panel of like Green Arrow, and somebody, like people were like kind of reacting to it. And I know when he talked about it, he said something like, somebody said something to him like, you can't joke about the media, because the whole thing was like, it was like Green Arrow saying like the media sucks, or the media is a bunch of lies, or fake media is fake news, pretty much, whatever. And he's like, well, no, that's fine. They're like, no, because we got to beat Trump. What? That doesn't. And he's like, yeah, so when you say that, it can become problematic. When you say that, it can become a problem. And I'm like, one has nothing to really do, honestly, with the other outside of very specific things. You can support or not support whoever you want and still say the media sucks. Like, you can do more than one thing, but so many people have gotten so hyper political about these things that it's like, no, it has to be this way or no way on both sides. And so I hope there's people that are like, yeah, that's right, the left, that's right, the right. No, it's both of you, because I know people on both, and it's both of you. You're both ridiculous and kind of need to calm down. And at least in my opinion, I think people need to calm down. I think they're going too overboard, and I'm seeing people lose relationships because of it. Because you voted for this guy and this person, and they believe in this one particular thing, and because of this one particular thing, that means we should never talk again. You shouldn't really end a friendship or a relationship with somebody simply because they decided that something worked best for them. You should, like, on a vote, that is their right. You talking to them, you're trying to sway them your way, and they could have reasons why they don't want to vote the same way you do. There's a lot of people who don't like Biden because of a lot of factors of his way on crime and other things like that, and taxes and stuff. And there's a lot of people who don't like Trump for, him lying and, downplaying the pandemic and all this stuff. Like, people have reasons why they pick what they pick on either side. And to completely hold a person in that one particular decision, for whatever that decision may be, I think it's a little over the top. But like I said, this is just a thought thing. Back to the sexy voting stuff. So then you have the so it goes from the video and that stuff, and people constantly saying it's the most important. It's never the most. Yeah, the world may suck or something, but it's going to be, no matter who wins, you're going to hear a bunch of people crying, griping, groaning, and complaining. It doesn't matter which way it goes. It's going to be all hell's going to break loose, pretty much. And it's funny because people like, I can't stand him. Well, the votes were in. Now you can say, oh, it was because of outside interference or whatever. Well, he's never been pulled on it. It's been investigated. Never got called on it. Never got pulled out for it. So it is what it is. But I think people need to calm down like a bit and don't hold the politics so strong that if someone like does one thing you don't like, you're done. Like years and buildups of relationships, and you're just down the toilet. But then you had the thirst trap things. Like I know K. Sterling Brown did one. Who else was it? Kylie Jenner. Jenna Dewan, because I follow her. There's a few others. But I see a lot of people doing the thirst trap things where they're just like, yeah, vote. Thirst trap. And I'm like, really? That's what we gotten down to? Now, I don't think it's that as bad as the naked weird video that then you yell at people for making jokes. I still think it was a little off with the video versus you doing it on your own social media. If you do it on your own social media, I think that's fine. Some people took it a little step further. Like, there are some people telling you who to vote for, which you should not and don't do that. That's actually, like, bad. You can look that up yourself. But there's people who would like have pictures on their face of like one of the candidates, and just oh man, people really got to get over themselves with this stuff. Like it's okay if you both don't have the same exact politics. There's thousands of other things, man. And I seen people on there, you vote for him, I can't talk to you, and like even on these thirst ones, they're like going at it in the comments, and I'm just like, this is nuts. Is it really that serious? It's like every time something is made, every time a statement is made on one side or the other, it just blows up. And I'm not saying that me talking about these things means I'm any better than anybody else or higher than you or anyone. It's just one of those things I just find crazy because I'm like, why is it so sexualized? Like, you got the people doing like the thirst trap stuff. Like I said, I don't think it's as bad. It's on your own social media, but then I know I saw something where someone showed me Lizzo like twerking dressed as Uncle Sam or something like that. I can't remember fully. I was just like, what? Because they kind of, it was in the story. They just came out over like, look at this. I'm like, wow, why are you? I don't even know you, but okay. I know there was like the Gun Girl did stuff where she had like the superimposed Biden head. There was like Diplo on her butt and stuff. It was just people doing it, and I'm like, hey, if you're on your own social media, okay, I feel like your own social media, yeah, if you put something in the ether, it can be questioned or looked at or but it's not the same as if you put it on a wider thing. But like, for example, like Twitter, you're putting that on a platform to blow out, but usually a lot of times with Instagram and stuff, it's more about the pictures and certain things. But it is what it is, and it weighs out, I guess, what you're saying, kind of thing too. The message you're putting out there, I guess, if you will. Remember the ads? Remember Rock the Vote? I know one of them had like Aerosmith, and they made innuendos. They had to get one lick the cream off of the bikini thing. They're like, look, but they were making a point of your freedom is this. You can do all of these things because you're an American. These are things you can actually do specifically because you're American. You can get, basically it was like, let your freak flag fly. These things, they're like, don't you want to see a naked ballot? Then they had these other joints that was crazy. Now, I just started following her. I think she's Diane Guerrero, Drop Dead Gorgeous, whatever. And I actually was like, oh, let me follow her on Instagram. She is a very heavy activist. That's cool. She goes a little hard in the paint, but I do know she has that strength about deportation and stuff. But I've seen her take some certain things she says to an extreme. There's no shade with her. I think she's a really cool actress. The little bit of experience I've had with her and just watching her, I think she's very good. Also, she has a lot to say, and I do like watching her talk, like about certain stuff, especially her family experiences. It's just sometimes if I'm on people's social media and there's a Sororis Ronan, I think her name is, like she's a hardcore right person, and they boom, 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 and it's like sometimes I just want to go to Instagram just to see you do a funny thing or something. But it's your post, do it. I'll just opt out. And that's what I think people should do. You sometimes get the policy just to opt out. The headache is just not worth it. But then I saw her thing where she had like who was it? It was like safe voting feels good, and it was like a bunch of individuals was like, yeah, da 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 da. Look at my, and I'm like, what is going on here? And then I saw Alexia Daddario had one where she's like talking to you, but like as if you were over her and stuff, and it's kind of like, well, whoa, does it really need to go there? But, all right. I guess people are like, hey, it's a witty way to get your attention. Sex sells, I guess, I did see one. I gotta admit, I thought it was actually interesting. So while I was watching the thing, another one pops up because I watched the thing and it had strippers. I think it was an Atlanta one or something. And they were like, it's like, get your butt to the pole. But I always cracked me up because then the strippers got like very informative. Like, we got your attention? And they were still doing their thing, but they were extremely informative about why you should vote. The thing about you saying, hey, someone picks my thing and why. And it was just interesting. I was like, wow, they broke it down a little bit. And I love that. See, to me, the celebrity one, they were talking about how to do the ballot. I'm like, you could have did that without all the excess. The stripper one was kind of playing it up. I know some people said it was a stereotype, but then some people were like, hey, well, if LeBron came out in the Lakers jersey, isn't that the same thing? Well, okay, sure. Strippers to basketball, they're the same thing. I know down south, especially in Atlanta, you could have a wedding at a strip club, at a strip club, all types of stuff. A little different culture down south. I'm up north. So, but I've been down south, so hey, it was informative. It was well thought out. I actually have to give it to him. Like, I was like, that felt like you were giving me something, not, you weren't just pandering. You were using it. It was like the attention grab, but now I got your attention. Listen to this information. Versus the celebrity one was kind of like, hey, we're kind of here. And that's what it felt like. I understand where their mind might have been of, well, we're going to try everything we can. But it also felt like there was a goal there where the stripper ones, they said certain things, but they were talking more like, they kind of approached it like, if you want something to change, you need to vote and look at who you're voting for, kind of thing. But I'm like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen the elections with this much sexuality around it. It was just, I'm just like, all over the place. But the celebrity one was just ridiculous. The thirst traps, I'm like, it is what it is. But that celebrity naked thing, I think out of all of them was like the worst. Because it felt like pandering, and the people who were on there, it wasn't a mixture. Like, you could tell who they were trying to lean you to vote for. It just felt off. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But anybody else notice this? Like, it just seems like every time I looked at the ad, besides the normal stuff, it was like sex time. I seen a couple guy ones too where they're like, yeah, girl, you need to vote, and voting is sexy, and it was just like, huh. But that celebrity one was bad. It's just, something just didn't feel right about it. I don't know. It just felt uncomfortable. It was like they were uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable watching them be uncomfortable. It was just, ugh. But like I said, thirst trap one's not so bad. People do thirst traps all the time. So this time they did it, the vote. Some of them took it a little bit further than others, especially the ones that told you who to vote for. Never do that. It's one thing to tell people to vote. It's another thing to tell people to do something with their vote. That's against law. But yeah, some people just took it to the extreme. So I guess in the end, listen, because I rambled on long enough. Don't just pick somebody. If you have a friend and you're a Biden supporter and they vote for Trump, now you could be like, well, they don't believe me because of my sexuality or my thing or like this, and they want this or they want that. Try to see where they're coming from and actually talk to them to see why they're voting that way and why they won't vote your way, and you vice versa. Or just don't talk about politics. Like my grandma said, don't talk about religion or politics. Leave that there, because when you start doing it, someone goes, why are you voting for that? Like, no, it creates an unnecessary argument. So really, honestly, don't talk about politics. But if you got to, talk with an open mind to try to better understand each other. Meet in the middle, not clash. I mean, you're going to clash anyway because everyone's so extreme right now. But still, just try. Well, that's it. I rambled on long enough. This is the Geek Protagonist. Y'all tell me what you think. Have you seen these ads and different stuff? If you haven't looked up Diane Guerrero and Alexa Daddario vote and stuff, you'll see them out there. There's and the politicians. I've seen a few politicians. We're naked to vote. Like, you'll find them if you Google search them or you YouTube search them. I'm not putting them on here. I'm not even putting pictures up. This is just me rambling. So this is a Geek Protagonist. I hope you go out and vote tomorrow if you haven't already, or you mailed in your ballot if you haven't. Try to get it out there. No matter what side you vote for, it's something that people died to give you the right to do. There's many sacrifices that gave you the right to vote. So I say exercise it, use it, realize you are you're continuing the tradition of people's sacrifices, because not everyone was always able to vote all the time. And even in the world now, not everybody can vote like we can. So you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real, and I'll see you. Hey, thank you for visiting my channel. This is the Geek Protagonist. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please, it'll really help me out in the channel if you actually share these videos. If you like what I'm doing, please hit that bell notification. Hit it, click. This way you won't miss any of my videos. Also, there's a thing on there that says personal and all. Hit the all. This way you'll get them every time for the notifications. I'm trying to, grow, trying to do commentary about what's going on. And I want to thank you again. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay real. This is the Geek Protagonist. I'm out, and I'll see you.